Tatha,
Tatha.
also,
Also,
Shudraha,
Shudra,
lower classmen,
lower classmen,
Te api,
Te api,
even they,
even
Yanti,
Yanti,
go,
go,
Param,
Parab,
to the supreme,
to the supreme
Gatim,
Gati,
destination.
destination.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, merchants in the bracket, and Shudras or workers, can attain the supreme destination. Purport. It is clearly declared here by the Supreme Lord that in devotional service, there is no distinction between the lower and the higher classes of people. In the material conception of life, there are such divisions, but for a person engaged in transcendental devotional service to the Lord, there are not. Everyone is eligible for the supreme destination. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 4, Text 18, it is stated that if even the lowest, who are called chandalas or dog eaters, can be purified by association with a pure devotee. Therefore, devotional service and the guidance of a pure devotee are so strong that there is no discrimination between the lower and higher classes of men. Anyone can take to it. The most simple man, taking shelter of the pure devotee, can be purified by proper guidance. According to the different modes of material nature, men are classified in the modes of goodness, brahmanas, the modes of passion, kshatriyas or administrators, the mixed modes of passion and ignorance, vaishyas or merchants, and the mode of ignorance, shudras or workers. Those lower than them are called chandalas, and they are born in sinful families. Generally, the association of those born in sinful families is not accepted by the higher classes. But the process of devotional service is so strong that the pure devotee of the Supreme Lord can enable people of all the lower classes to attain the highest perfection of life. This is possible only when one takes shelter of Krishna, as indicated here by the word Vipasritya. Vipashritya, one has to take shelter completely of Krishna. Then one can become much greater than great jnanis and yogis. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakammalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padhan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanasute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhescha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today we are discussing chapter 9, text 32. We have seen wonderful verses. This is a continuation of that wonderfulness, different verses in this chapter 9. Each and every verse is a blockbuster verse in this chapter 9. So I was going through, say the one before, right? Kshipram bhavati dharmatma sa shashvat chantam nigacchati konteya pratijanehi name bhakta pranashati. So Krishna is asking Arjuna to proclaim, to say, and inform everyone that if someone comes to him, he'll never perish. His devotees will never perish. Shitram bhavati dharmatma shashvat shantim nigachati konteya pratijanahi name bhakta pranashati. My devotee will never perish, right? And one after another. So even if one commits the most abominable act, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. So in this series of continuous blackbusters, we got this. Today we're reading about Canto chapter 9, text 32. So which is Mam hi partha vipasritya epishu papa yonaya striyo vaishyas tata shudras tepi yante param gatim. So Krishna is giving the ultimate knowledge. This is all Raja Vidya, confidential knowledge, and this is one of the part of that confidential knowledge. Mam hi partha vipasritya. So if someone, vipasritya is the word I'm looking at here, particularly taking shelter. If someone takes shelter of me, right? Particularly children, mom hi partha, mom hi. If me, certainly if someone takes shelter of me, mom indicates in the first here, the mom indicates me. Vipasritya takes shelter of me, and he's talking to Partha, son of Pritha, who is Arjuna. So he's telling Arjuna, if someone takes shelter of me, Epishyu Papa Yonaho. Why not? They can be from a lower birth. Papa Yonaho. Papa is sinful birth or lower birth. Who gets Papa Yonaha? Yonaya. The Papa Yonaya is a lower birth. One gets a lower birth because of his sinful activities in the previous lives. So that's why it's called as Papa Yonaha. Even though one gets a lower birth, if one, what do you mean by lower birth? Lower birth can be an animal, can be a bird, can be a beast, can be any other demons. So they're all lower births. Mlechas, the meat eaters, cow eaters, everything. So all those are lower birth people. Why they're lower birth? Because they're sinful in their previous lives and their desires were attached to those kind of activities. So that's why they're born in this lower birth, in this birth. But still, if they are from the lower births also, if they come to me, if they take shelter of me completely, particularly taking shelter, Vipasritya, particularly means with determination, with that kind of commitment. If someone takes shelter of me, right? Papa Yonaho, Yonaya, if they are from lower births, Striyaha, if they're women. So women were not provided with a lot of privileges. I have to, privileges in the sense like they were not allowed to do many things because of their bodily position. Okay, so woman's body is made to endure and have a compassion, have a protection, have a nourishment, to provide nurture to the small, to the children. So that's the body is made to have emotions, deep emotions involved in her and in the body of women. So with that emotions, with that kind of deep attachment, or with that kind of so like with that kind of emotions, they may not be able to understand the philosophical subjects. That's why they are that's why Krishna is quoting them. Even though they are emotional, even though their bodies are made for something else, for the nourishment, for giving the love to their children, to nurture and nourish the to nourish the children, to bring them up nicely, right? Even though they're busy in that activities, they can also, if they approach me, if they surrender to my lotus feet, right? Surrender to me, there will also be, what will they get? Everyone will get param gatim. Okay, and the third point mentioned was Vaishyas. Vaishyas are mercantile people who are mostly working on the agriculture and taking care of the cows and do all kinds of businesses. So they are Vaishyas. Vaishyas in general are very busy in the mercantile activities, and they have to lie. Sometimes they have to lie to process their business, to make sure their business is working fine. So Brahmana or Kshatriya are not supposed to lie. Okay, lying is not a very good habit or very good proposition to acquire or to reach to Krishna. So he's saying that even though they don't have the quality of truthfulness, Vaishyas, right? But still, if they approach me, they can get Paramgatim. They can reach the final destination. And the last one, Tatha Shudras. Even though the Shudras are considered to be abominable, not abominable, but they are considered to be the hard workers, worker class. So the Shudras are physically, they can do whatever the work is required for the community to support all other Varnas. What are the Varnas? There are 4 Varnas: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. And Prabhupada explains it in the purport also. So the other Varnas, the working class is Shudra class, and they support all the 3 Varnas. Okay, now they are physically stable and fit to perform the hard work. But if they also they're not intelligent enough, or they're not provided with time and that resources to understand the philosophical subjects, that's why they're considered here as a category. And out of these 4 categories, Sudras are also, who are the hardworking class, they can also come and surrender to me. If they surrender to me, particularly taking my shelter, particular means with commitment, with some kind of giving importance to the shelter of the Lord, then also Tepi, even they are all these people, even Yanti go Paramgatim, they'll get a Paramgatim. Paramgatim is the ultimate destination. What is the ultimate destination of a living entity? The ultimate destination is going back to God, back home, back to Godhead. So that is going back to Krishna Loka. So because that is a permanent place. Where we are living here is the material world, which is temporary, right? We all say that it's temporary. And they can reach the Paramgatim, which is the ultimate goal or ultimate position or ultimate place, the final destination. Sometimes they call it as final destination. So that is the goal of all the living entities. And these categories of people, Papa Yonaho, Yonaya, that means the lower birth. Who are the lower birth people? Chandalas, dog eaters, meat eaters. See, Prabhupada mentions here who are called Chandalas, right? Dog eaters. They're all not qualified, but qualified to take up or listen at least to the Vedas or Vedic literature. But somehow Krishna is pointing each and every category here. Papa Yonaya, Striyaha, Vaishyaha, Tata Shudras. All these 4 categories people, if they approach me, if they surrender to me, if they take my shelter with commitment, then they will go back to they'll all get the Paramgatim. They'll all attain the final destination. Okay, so let's go back and check some examples of the devotees who have, from all these categories, who have got this Paramgatim, who have got the blessings of Krishna, even though if they are here in these categories, if they fall under these categories. Okay, so I stop sharing. So I have some examples here. But why don't someone take a guess? Let's talk about Papa Yonaha, lower birth. Okay, so lower birth are basically the people who have lower birth. Basically, they are the Chandalas, dog eaters. Prabhupada mentions or translates the Chandalas as dog eaters. So if Chandalas are the ones with the family background of like tribes and nishadas, they call us nishadas. They're from forest living, or the hill, they live in the mountains and the hills. They're called as nishadas. So can someone give me an example of some lower birth family person or a devotee who was surrendered?
Shabri, Prabhuji, Shabri.
Very nice example, Mataji. Very, very nice example. So that is one of the examples we always quote. So Shabari was so much dedicated, and she was always thinking about the Lord, and she was waiting for years for Lord Ram to come. And finally, when Lord came, Lord didn't distinct, even though she is a Nishada. Nishada is a lower class or lower birth woman. Because of, as I said, lower birth comes because of the sinful activities we have performed in the previous lives. Sri Ram never ever distinct or never differentiated between, like, when Shabari was trying the fruits or the berries before she's offering to the Lord. She's putting in her mouth and offering them to Lord. And Lord Lakshman was looking at Sri Ram, and Ram said, "Don't." Ram was indicating, "Don't say anything," and he was eating them. So accepting the love of Shabari. That is the greatness of the Lord. When he said that is the proof of this verse. He says that even though Papa Yonaya, even though the people are born of the lower birth, if they surrender unto me, if they are particularly committed to me, they're surrender to me, then I'll take care of them. And that's one of the very good examples, Mataji. And anyone else, any other example? So these lower births can be animals, they can be birds. So all of them comes under the lower birth categories.
I think Gajendra Moksham, I can say probably.
Yes, Prabhuji. So that's a wonderful example again. So Gajendra is an elephant, right? If you think the position he was in, he was very happy. He was a king of the elephants, right? And he's a male elephant with multiple female elephants with him and multiple children or multiple small elephants with him. So they all went to the water, okay? And Srimad Bhagavatam explains this, okay? He was throwing water on the, like, he took the water from that river or that pond, and he was throwing or splashing that water on his wives for some time. Then he realized that his children also want water, so he was playing with splashing the water on the children. Okay, so that is the entanglement he was having. He did not, he's a king of the elephants, he didn't face any fear. So he was entangled so much so that he was playing for some hours in that water. They were playing all together, they were playing, the whole family, right? So at that point of time, when he remembered from his previous birth some prayers, we know that the crocodile came and caught the leg of Gajendra. Then luckily after some time he remembered, or with the mercy of the Lord, that memory was still there. The prayers he has mentioned, he has done, or the worship he has done in his previous lives came back, and he started offering the prayers fluently, right? Then Lord came down. When Lord was coming down, there was a question, like, he felt that Garuda travels with the speed of mind. Okay, he actually he travels like faster than the speed of mind. Then Lord was thinking, this Garuda is going very slow. That was Srimad Bhagavatam says, Garuda is going very slow. So he jumped out of Garuda and came down. So that was the situation he was in. So that is how Lord loves. It doesn't matter if it is a lower birth. It doesn't matter like what is the position we have in this material world, because the identities we have here, we carry multiple identities. Or this caste, this region, this area, American, Indian. So all this doesn't matter to Krishna. The only one thing that matters is, have you surrendered completely? In the form of surrender, he doesn't want to see the arrogance also, like, I'm surrendered devotee. I know you proclaim, you show, you see others. He sees the relation also, like how you maintain the relation with other devotees. What is your condition in this material world? Even though you are a devotee, you proclaim to be a devotee, you say you are a devotee, and you do Mangalarti, you do all other things. But that mentality, because Krishna sits in your Krishna sits in our heart as a super soul. So he knows. There is a beautiful verse. Actually, I'm preparing for tomorrow's class, so I remembered this verse, but I'll just use one word from that. So Vivikta Adhyatma Darshanaha. So Krishna's Sukadeva Goswami calls Sri Krishna, or the Lord, has Vivikta Adhyatma Darshanaha, the one who sees the minds of others. He can see what is in your mind. That is the Lord's that is the power of the Lord. He can see the minds of other people. Let's say if someone comes to us and they say that if someone comes to us and they try to explain the situation they're in, they're going through some kind of bad phase, and they're trying to explain, we can hear, but we cannot connect, or we cannot feel the pain they're going through. But with Krishna, that is not like that. Krishna says, Vivikta Dhyatma Darshanaha. You can see the minds, what's the condition of the minds of the devotees. So that's why Krishna comes right away and protects Gajendra. So that's a good example. So there are a few other examples also, but let's go to the other examples are Kubja. If you remember, Kubja is an Ishada. She was carrying, or she was taking the sandalwood paste for the pleasure of Kansa's pleasure. When Lord Krishna asked her, can you give me the sandalwood paste? And she gave it, and she was very much attracted. She got attracted to the Lord so much. So Lord delivered her also. So same thing with other thing was Jambavi. Jambavan is a animal body. So Jambavan, even though he served Ram in his previous in Treta Yuga, but still he lives for 4 yugas. So when Krishna came in, when Lord came in Dwapar, he was still present, and Shamantaka Mani and all the story you all know. So, but Krishna Lord accepted Jambavati as his wife. So one of his wives is Jambavati, the daughter of Jambavan. Okay, so that is Papa Yonaha. When Papa Yonaya. So basically, when even though a person or a living entity is born in the lower birth, that Krishna accepts them. Okay, that is what he's saying in this verse. The second category is Striyaha. So why Striyaha? I mentioned because women's body is made for more mature or more sensible or sensitive or emotional things. So that body, when you are emotional, you cannot understand some kind of deep philosophical subjects. That's why the women are considered to be sometimes they were called as less intelligent. They were called as different categories in different areas. But in reality, the idea is like, even though when they surrender to the Lord accepts them. So if someone can give me an example of women who are surrendered to the Lord, or the female devotees of the Lord.
Meera.
Very nice, Mataji. Yeah, Mirabai. Mirabai is she left the whole family, her husband and everyone, and she was completely dedicated to Krishna, and she was always singing bhajans of Krishna, very deep and thoughtful bhajans. Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Any other one?
Alti Mataji.
Very nice. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, Malti Mataji, she was completely surrendered devotee of, what can I speak about her? She Prabhupada's disciple. So, yeah, very nice, Prabhuji. So I see from the chat, someone is Gopis. Yes, Gopis are also surrendered, and they were all, they are completely elevated. No one can compare to the love of the Gopis. And the other example of in the same category is Brahman Patnis, right? If you see when Lord and the Gopas, they went to the Yagyashala, or the place where the Yagna was going on, Lord asks Gopas and tell them to go get some food. All the Gopas are friends of the Lord. They said that we are very hungry, we need some food. Then he said that, okay, there is Yagna going on, go to the Brahmanas there and ask them for the food. The Brahmanas said they're busy, they can't talk. Okay, so they came back. The boys came back disappointed. And Krishna said, now go to the Yagna Patnis, the Brahmana Patnis, the Patnis who of the Brahmanas, and ask them for the food. Just tell them that Krishna is here. They didn't even ask food. So just tell them that Krishna is here, Lord Krishna is here. They were very, the moment they heard that Krishna is there, they packed the food, they packed everything, and they gave it to the boys, and they started going out to serve the Lord. So that is the emotion we're talking about. Even though they're striyaha, so see, the body of the brahmanas are male bodies, but because of that function, they forgot the purpose of that function, purpose of that yagna. The yagna is to please the Lord. So Lord is right there, and they couldn't connect that point that, Lord is right there. Why don't we, that we also do that mistake when there is this life is full of decisions. When we have to make a decision, we have to think about the final goal or final ending of the decision. What is the purpose? Yes, I have to yeah, again, I always give temple example, so let's forget about that. So yeah, basically the purpose should be to please the Lord. You can be there may be so many other instances where you have to make a choice, which one to do first. So then if you're in that junction, always remember what kind of choice will please the Lord better. That is the important thing we have to think before we perform any activity. So yeah, in that example, brahmanas, even though they are highly qualified, they were the yagna performers, right? They are very much qualified, but they couldn't please the Lord. Brahmana patnis, they please the Lord, even though they are the women or the wives of those brahmanas. So that is one good example. And Sudhakar Bellam Prabhu says Jatayu. Amazing example, Prabhuji. Jatayu is such a devotee. He just fought. He gave his life for to protect Sita Devi. Very nice example, Prabhuji. So that the Jatayu will come under the lower birth examples. Okay. So now we'll go to the Vaishyas, mercantile family. So in mercantile family, we all all these Gopas, Gopis, Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda Maya, and Srimati Radharani, the best of the best devotees of the Lord. So all these are the in the mercantile family. They're all mercantile family. They're Vaishyas. So so even though their function is to their dharma used to perform the business activities, selling the milk, maintaining the cows, performing the agriculture, all these activities, all the performing agriculture doesn't come under the hard work. Even though it's a hard work, but it is still Vaishyas are considered to be maintaining the agriculture and also performing taking care of the cows on business of any kind, business. So all this is Vaishyas. Now the fourth category was Shudras. So there are so many examples of Shudras. Can someone quote some examples from Shudras, like who are the devotees of the Lord?
Vidura?
Yeah.
Very nice, Prabhuji. So Vidura, he was born to a Sudrani, right? She was a servant, maid servant in the Hastinapur, and for her was born as Vidura. So Lord Vidura is so pious. When Lord Krishna came, for the negotiation or as an ambassador to stop the Kurukshetra war, he has there was an invitation from Bhishma. There was an invitation from different varieties of people. There was an invitation from Duryodhan. He rejected all these invitations, but he still preferred, or he chose to live with Vidura. Right? In Mahabharata, I was reading today. There were different personalities who have invited Krishna participate. Not only Duryodhan. I always thought it was only Duryodhan, but there were invitations from different personalities, and like 5 or 6 personalities, but he didn't accept that invitation. But he preferred to stay at Vidura's house. So when staying there, we all know this story, and we all know what happened there. Lord was so like he was so impressed with the devotion of Vidura, and in the conversation he started accepting the skin of the banana. So that's what we see, and that's what we have heard in the stories. So that is the yes, Vidura, even though he was born to Shudrani, or the maid servant of the Hastinapur, he was considered to be a Shudra in that category. But still, Lord accepted the love and the affection that was showed by Shudra there. But by Vidra there. Okay. Anyone else? We have some examples from Ramayana.
Prabhuji, Kevat at the bank of
Guha.
Ganges.
Very nice, Mataji. That was I was thinking about in Ramayana also. Guha, his name was Guha. Okay. So that Kevat is a Guha. He's a king of that Naishadas there. Okay. As I said, they are very Shudras basically. So he was a worker class, and throughout this class, whenever I was saying worker class, Shudras, and all these things, please do not think that I am derogatory to them. I'm just trying to give the different categories here. So what I'm trying to say here is, like, we're stressing on these topics, or we're stressing on these words like Shudras, lower class, lower birth, and all these things, just to take an example and leave it there. I don't have any I am actually not comfortable using those words also, but just for the sake of the class, just for the sake of understanding, we're using those words and we're using those examples. So that's just a disclaimer before I say anything. But other than that, yes, Guha is a devotee of the Lord. He was waiting for, he got an information. I was reading Ramayana a little bit today. So he got an information that Sita, Ram, and Lakshmana are coming, and they will be stopping there at his village, and they may need help to cross the river there, right? So to go to Chitrakoot. Then Guha, he was prepared, he was anticipating, he was making all the preparations. He is the king of that community there. So he was making sure that everything was arranged properly for the Lord's invitation, for the Lord's visit. So that was his love and devotion. So we know that, right? When Lord came in, Guha tried to reach the lotus feet of the Lord, Sri Ram, and Lord didn't accept that. He said that, Guha, you are my friend, and he gave him a big hug, or a very good hug. Lord Sri Ram hugged him very nicely. So, but Guha was not happy with that. Then he made a trick, like, next day morning, Guha requested Lord Sri Ram and others, like Sita Devi and Lakshmanji, to stay back there and stay there. That's also one only. It's kind of a forest. So he requested, please stay here. Then they said, no, it's not what my father wanted. Dasharatha was asked me to go away or banished for 14 years. So now I don't want to deny my father's promise. So he said, that's not possible. Then Guha requested them to stay for one night. So that night they stayed. Next morning, when Lord Ram was about to enter or step into the boat, Guha's boat, then Guha requested him, saying that, Lord Rama, you are very tricky, especially your feet is very, very tricky. Now, I'm doubtful that, once you touch your lotus feet to the stone, and that stone become a woman. And my only source of living is this boat. And if you turn this boat into a woman, what can I do? So please, I don't let you step into my boat without washing. So he tricks Lord Ram to accept, because he tried in the beginning. When Lord Ram came, he could not get an opportunity to touch his lotus feet. So now he took this opportunity, and this moment as an opportunity, and he washed the lotus feet he made Lord Sri Ram accept to wash his lotus feet. So Guha washed his lotus feet, enjoyed that moment, and then he made Lord entered that boat. So that is one good pastime. So that's how Lord is very merciful. Lord is very, very merciful. When someone, or anyone, whoever it is, a bird, a beast, anything, that the only qualification required is surrender, right? Devotional service. So once we do the devotional service, then the Lord will be very happy and accepts us. So today we had a beautiful verse. Mamhi parta vepasritya epishyo papayonaya striyo vaishastata shudras tepi yanti paramgati. So Krishna says that if someone surrenders to me, if it doesn't matter who is it, it can be a lower birth, it can be from a woman, or it can be a Vaishya, a mercantile family, or a Tata is and Shudras, any Shudras. So it doesn't matter for me. Not only Brahmanas or the Kshatriyas, anyone that surrenders unto me, Tepi Yanti Paramgatim, they can reach an ultimate destination, that is the going back to Godhead. Okay, back home, back to Godhead. So with that, I want to close this class. Please share your realizations so that I can also hear from you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for a wonderful class as usual. Very nicely articulated and very nicely explained. Prabhuji just wanted to share that, like we talk about these four varnas, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. So I heard in one of the kathas, like Brahman is head is Brahmana, and then our hands and shoulder they are Kshatriya, and then the middle part is Vaishya, like production, and then legs are like our Shudra. So each part are very important. Even if we don't have one part, so it will not work. The body is like handicap kind of. So all varnas are that much important in our society. So there is no discrimination between them. So I like that part, very nicely explained in Katha. So we cannot discriminate anyone. Everybody has different qualities depending upon their guna and karmas. They got that categories. And one more thing I just wanted to share. I heard in one of the kathas that when Mirabai, she went to Vrindavan, and she was not allowed. No woman was allowed to to go inside the temple. And then she said, I thought here only one male is there and all are gopis, all are women, female. So and then finally she got to enter into the temple. Just wanted to share, Prabhuji.
Very, very, very good points, Mataji. Yes, I also heard that story of Mirabai. She went to Vrindavan to take darshan of Jiva Goswami, I think. I'm not sure. I forgot.
I think Rahidas, Prabhuji, Rahidas. Her guru was Rahidas.
Okay, I don't know that, but yes, then she mentions that, and that's a very good point actually. So thank you for reminding that. Actually, what happens is, like in this world, Prabhupada also mentions that this whole in Kali Yuga, everyone is just Shudra. That's what Srila Prabhupada mentioned in multiple purports, because everyone is working hard. It doesn't matter. Like everyone is living in the arms of
servants.
Yeah. no one is living on the arms, or no one is living on the completely depending upon the other varnas. So like Brahmanas are supposed to live on the other like yeah, other grihasthas. So they have to wait, and they have to get that alms from the grihasthas. So grihasthas should support the other ashramas also. So in the similar way, Brahmanas are supposed to live on others, but not they can't earn by themselves. So but in Kali Yuga, where do you see that everyone is working? So everyone is IT professional now. So that's a good point, Mataji. Thank you. And yeah, everyone is a female except Krishna here. So that is the position. It's just us in this world. We have all these. I mean, we exaggerate the things which are not. We just we just follow according to our convenience. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Anyone have any other people? Any other devotees?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Srila Prabhupada.
Prabhuji, I was thinking about Sage Valmiki. You know, he was, as per what I know, I think he was hunter or some, of lower class, and he was not in a good activity, and then his heart transformed, and then he became a sage or something. So please pardon my ignorance, but I think so. A person born in any community can become or uplift themselves by, I think, devoting their or surrendering to Lord. So could be any class, and one of the female examples I was thinking was Mother Kunti. I think she also was a great devotee. I mean, she surrendered, and we all know the prayers of Mother Kunti, like how she surrendered and how she asked for Lord's, mercy and just being with her, staying with her. So I think historically also, yes, we have many females who are exalted devotees of Lord. So just wanted to share that.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Valmiki was a hunter in the previous life. I mean, in the same life also. So with the mercy of Narada Muni, Narada Muni once came there while he was hunting. So Narada Muni said that hunting is a sin. Do you know that? He says that, I don't know. But Narada Muni keeps on explaining him that hunting is a sin. Can he go, like he said, why are you hunting? He said that hunting is the source of food for my family. My family, my wife, my children, they live on this hunting. Then he says that.
Sorry.
Yeah. Then he says that. Then Narada Muni says that, okay, if you know that when you kill, you get sinned. So can you go ask your family members that if they can take your sin, because you are hunting for them, can you ask them if they can take your sin, take a part of that sin? Then their family wife says, no way, you are doing, and that is your duty, so we're not going to take the sins. And then he came back, and Narada Muni transforms him with the association of guru like Narada Muni. Valmiki got transformed, and when the mantra was given to chant as Rama, Valmiki was like, he had trouble. His name was Ratnakar, so he was a Ratnakara. So Ratnakara had a trouble chanting the name of Rama. So, but he's a hunter, so he knows how to say the word Mara, right? Then Narada Muni asked him to chant Mara, 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 Mara. So that became like, and Krishna or the Ram is so merciful, even though he's chanting the reverse word, Mara, 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 Mara became Ram, 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 Ram. So that's how he got really elevated. Very good example, Mataji. And Kunti Devi is exemplary example, what we find in Srimad Bhagavatam. Even though she is elder to Sri Krishna, she always had a that devotional attitude towards him. So she knew that Lord Krishna is Lord himself. So good.
Prabhu, I had a couple of realization and points. One is about the women. And Mataji said that, there is only one Purush, everyone is three. So, of course, we have a physical body, there's a differentiation. And even the subtle body of the mind, intelligence, that also characteristics differ, whether it's a male or a female, a body which is there. But there is only one male, Purusha, as the enjoyer, and all of us are Prakriti, the enjoyed. That is one thing. Now, throughout history, man, because of his strength, physical strength, has always dominated over women. And he has used religion as a tool to dominate and suppress not only women, but also, for example, the lower classes like the Shudra. So Brahmana became a post based on birth. When it should actually be karma, it became a post based on birth. And then a person who's a Shudra, they consider the person to be an untouchable, unclean, and so on and so forth. But the Vedic culture is that you really had to feed people who served you first, then you have to eat yourself. So if there's a grasti or you serve whoever has been, and so much so even you go out and call out, is anybody hungry? And only after nobody responds, then you eat. So from this aspect, the women and even those whom we call quote unquote Shudra, because Shudra has a negative connotation in contemporary mind. People think that Shudra is like, in India they say Bhangi. There's one term, Bhangi. And of course, Mahatma Gandhi tried to do something and he called them Harijan to bring that change across. But this is there from our Vedic time, and Vedic culture has no discrimination. So much so, the highest honor that a woman is given is in the Vedic culture. You look at even in ISKCON or the Vaishnav culture, and even in South India where I studied, they call women Mataji or Amma or Ma. That is the level of respect. Typically, the male looks at a woman as an object of enjoyment. And someone may say, oh, it is very natural and it is reflexive and things like that. These are just excuses. But the Vedic culture is you consider every woman other than the one whom you're married to as your mother. So it automatically takes away that, through practice, that sense enjoyment. And you look at a woman as who she is, another spirit soul. So this is in the Vedic culture. Whereas everywhere else it is suppressed. And then people use that, it says women and less intelligent people. That doesn't mean women are less intelligent. Their thinking is in a different manner. Women are more emotive. They are more emotion. Men are digital, let's put it that way, and women are analog. They can have a wide range. So from this aspect, devotion is no disqualification. Doesn't matter who you are, what you were, what background you have, and all these things. So Prabhupada has brought about a lot of education. Whatever have been a deep-rooted understanding, so to say. It's kind of an awakening. Yeah, Prabhu. Thank you for your nice class. And everybody else who shared their thoughts. Very nice.
Yes,
Our
Prabhu.
Haridas Thakur was from Islam faith. I think they're Mlechas, right?
Mlechas.
Huh?
Mlecha.
Mlecha. And so much so, there is also a sect of Vaishnavas. Pathan, what they call them? They are also.
Javan, I think. Javan or Mlecha.
Huh?
I think Mlecha Javan, Haridas Prabhu. Actually, he born some Hindu family, but he take care by one Muslim family. That's I did.
Okay. But who is that?
Sorry.
No, Mataji, that's good. Who's I think it's from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pastime, where they're called the Pathan Vaishnavas or some name. They are Muslims.
No, Pathan Vaishnava is different. Who here from the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu later became a devotee. I'm talking about the Haridas Thakur.
What is the Pathan? What is the Pathan Vaishnav?
Oh, Pathan was Muslim. Some Khan. They have that. Some Khan. I forgot that name. Some Khan. Last name was Khan. Then later is after more later when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu going somewhere that time. The Pathan met, and that time they hear some song. There's some incident happened, and then after that they became a Vaishnava. That's different, right?
On the way to
Vrindavan.
The entire sect is now following Vaishnavism.
Yeah, their whole group became a Vaishnava.
Called Bijali Khan.
Huh?
Bijali
I don't
Khan
know,
or
but
Bijal.
Na, ki naam jane? I forgot. I have to check again. It's, I think Madhya Lila. In Madhya Lila, Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Yeah, good
Thank you, Prabhu.
points.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Mataji.
Yeah, thank you.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Mataji, nice to hear your voice after a long time.
Sorry. I'm sorry for interfering.
Mataji, when are you coming to New Jersey?
When, whatever Krishna will arrange, it all depends on Krishna.
Yeah,
When-
please come, Mataji.
When son gives class, mother shows up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just saw Prabhuji listening, so I just came to
No,
hear.
thank you. Good to hear from you, Mataji.
Please forgive me. I'm just in the middle, interfere.
Thank you. Any other realizations to share? Okay, so thank you all for your wonderful sharing, and it was a nice time, because I always speak, or like a speaker speaks, if the others don't participate, we don't know, or it's hard to understand if what we have delivered has been reached to you or not. So at least you have showed up. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So let's offer praise to the Vaishnavas.
Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa sindhubhyaiva cha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki
Jai.
Jai.
Gaur Premanand.
Hari
Thank you, Hari Kishore Prabhu.
It was really
Very nice class.
Thank
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, everybody.